Lovely. Hey peeps, what's up? So, you might notice that this title is slightly different than what was on the former slide. Social media and marketing is all about iterating and making the best thing, and sometimes your first thing isn't always the best thing, so I just like this better. But if I had been going for something a little bit more clickable, I would have gone with something like this. But frankly, we're not online right now, so it's not really appropriate. But as you now know, I'm Victoria Kershaw, and I'm currently the community manager at PikPok Games. And I'm here to help us all work better together and make some epic stuff. Social media and community management often get a pretty bad rap, which I really think just comes down to the fact that en masse, people don't really understand what it is that we actually do. At its core, social media is just conversations. Opting out used to be a choice, but frankly, it isn't anymore. And in an industry like games, your players expect an open dialogue. So, how can we make that happen? These are my 10 wishes for how we can best work together. Firstly, understand your audience. Now, I know the first thing that you will all be doing when you're making a game is researching the audience that you were targeting. At the beginning of development is the perfect time to start researching how your audience actually uses social media. So some of the questions that you can sort of start asking yourself are, what sites do they use? Why do they go there? How much time are they spending there? What sort of things do they share? Why are they sharing that, and who are they sharing with? Knowing how your players use social media can help your team to design social sharing features that your players might actually want to use. Second, design for community. You know who you're speaking to, but how can you get them talking about what you're making? Implementing social features into gameplay does that work for you. People don't need to think about what to say when they can just share the newest cat that they've got in Nico Atsumi or their ridiculous death that they've just had in Fairly Breaks. What's hilarious, creepy, impressive, or just downright weird in your game? Those are your share moments. When you make sharing a fundamental part of your gameplay experience, your players will take advantage of that. Give us a budget. Now, somebody needed to say this today, and it's going to be me. Social media is not free, okay? It needs time and investment, so having a budget really helps here. Now, this could be actual cash money that you might want to use on Facebook, influencers, campaigns, social media management tools, or it could be time and resources from the development team. Because let's forget that costs money too. Great social media campaigns don't just happen. Number 4, invite us to your meetings. All roles in the development team have a unique view to bring to the table, and your CM is no different. Our entire job involves looking through the eyes of the player, and we are so keen to talk to you about that. However your process works, whether it's meetings, product reviews, Google Hangouts, Post-it notes, email chains, I don't care. We just need to know what is happening. Then we can plan amazing stuff. Wish number 5. If there's anyone in the audience who's ever worked in community management, you'll be wondering, I don't know why this took so long to come up. We need content. While we can make and find a lot of this content ourselves, we need the buy-in and assistance from all the other amazing experts in our team. AKA, every single one of you in this audience. Everyone has something to bring to the table and something worth sharing with our audience. That's how we're going to connect with them and how they'll fall in love with us. We need to make things that are entertaining, useful, informative, ideally a combination of all of those, that are going to delight and make our audience feel wonderful. Speaking of our audience, study your fans. The game is launched. Hooray! Everybody is thrilled. obviously, downloads are starting to roll in, the fans are reacting to what you're making, and you might even already be working on the first update. Now we get to see, is the audience that we thought we might get the actual audience that we got? How are they playing the game? What do they love? What do they hate? What makes them really angry and rant on every single website that they can find? How are they talking to each other, and what are they talking about? Sorry. Lost my place in my notes. It was over the side of the page. If you ask the right questions, you can turn your community into a valuable asset. You can bounce your ideas off them. They will never stop giving you suggestions, and they are pretty much the most epic bug detection service that you could ever hope to find. Wish number 7, keep us in the loop. The launch of the title isn't necessarily the end of the road. Fingers crossed. Players are eternally hungry for more, whether that's updates, improvements, content, but sometimes things go wrong. Sometimes things run late, or they just aren't what your community was hoping for. Open, honest, timely information can do wonders for helping to keep your players' expectations and feelings in check. That's where your community manager can really take the heat off the team. Players, they get upset when they don't know what's happening, but this tension can be eased or almost eradicated by maintaining an open dialogue. Be nice to us. Things aren't always rosy. Gaming communities, I'm sure we're all part of some of them. They are very, very passionate. We love games. We want to talk about them. With passion comes some rather unforgiving feelings and words and hashtags that maybe aren't as pleasant. Don't get me wrong. It is entirely our job to deal with the players when these things happen. But getting sworn at all day gets really boring. And it's just not that fun. So it would be awesome if the team could sometimes remind the CM, especially in these terrible times of fire, that they are wonderful and we love what you do, Maybe that's just giving us as much information as you can, which is wonderful, because the more we can tell the players, the better things are for everyone. Maybe it's just a thank you. It could be a high five, a post-it note, a hangout, I don't know, maybe a whisper, whatever, you're feeling at the time. Or you could ply us with cake, because then we can eat the cake together and everybody's won and everyone's happy because we fixed the problem. CMs are great with people, but we aren't invincible, and a kind word can go a long way. Give us your input. Never be afraid to share your suggestions with us. Do you have a certain video in mind that you want to make? A funny joke, a stupid meme that you want to cut our character's face on and slap it on and do a horrible hashtag? I don't know, do you want to be a streamer? Let's make those things happen. Collaboration and conversation are where the best ideas and content are going to come from, that are going to truly connect with our players. And lastly, let's just have fun together. Games is fun, that's why we're here. Social media is really fun. We're all there hanging out with our friends, chatting away. And, community management, it's sometimes fun. It's pretty all right. The more fun that we can have together, the more fun our players can have with the things we are making them. So, those are my top 10 wishes for how best to help your development team, help your community manager to help you. Basically, it's relationship building, guys. Talk to each other. And when we work together, that's when we make things that are truly magical. Thank you very much for listening. And follow me, obviously.